In the recent arena of the world, almost 20 to 30 countries are involved in the war. And since 1945, we have seen that almost all the third world countries and especially the Islamic countries are involved in the war. And they all are bloodiest in nature because they are fought on the basis of caste, gender, religion, ethnicity and land, which make people worst as a person. Hello everyone, welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today we are going to discuss an important issue, which is Hamas versus Israel, and what is the issue of normalization here. So this topic is important from GS2 perspective. Moving to the points of discussion part, first of all we are going to discuss the news and then background about the Israel-Palestinian war, and then normalization efforts by different Arab countries, and then what is the issue of Palestinians here and how they are feeling about all these protests and all these wars, and then practice question for prelims and then mains. So moving to the news part, so we already know that on 7th of October Hamas had attacked on the Israeli land, and in response to that Israeli had also attacked on the Gaza Strip, and among all these scuffle almost 1600 people have been killed from the both sides. So this is a worrisome situation for the whole world because peace order could not be restored yet. So this news we are going to discuss. But Hezbollah leaders and Hamas leaders had said that why they had attacked on Israel. So this is the response that so many Arab countries wanted, that there should be normalization between Arab countries and the Israelis. So this is the response to all those people who wanted normalization plan between Arabs and Israelis. So this protest and this attack is a reply to all the Arab countries. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is about what is the background. In yesterday lecture we had discussed briefly about the background. So in today's lecture we will discuss in detail. So the first issue come here is the importance of Jerusalem. So this thing is not new that Jerusalem is fought over by many ethnic tribes, and so many ethnicity claim over the Jerusalem because this is also regarded as a holy land. And why it is called as a holy land? Because it is a sacred place for three sects. First is Judaism, second Islam, and third Christianity. So there are few monuments here. The first is Al-Aqsa Mosque. The second is Wailing Wall. And the third is Temple Mount. So these are the great monuments which is situated in the Jerusalem. So Al-Aqsa Mosque share the boundary with this Wailing Wall, and Al-Aqsa Mosque is considered as a sacred places for the Islamic followers because this is considered as the third holiest place after Mecca and Medina, because people believe that a prophet has ascended to paradise from this place. So because of this thing, Al-Aqsa Mosque is very important, which is located at Jerusalem. And recently in 2021 itself, Israelis had attacked the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So this is the brief history of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Coming to the Wailing Mountain or Temple Mount. So these two places are sacred for the Judaism and Christianity. So that's why this Jerusalem is in the conflict, because Judaism people, Christianity people and the Islamic followers, they all said that these all territory belong to them and Jerusalem is their territory, and because of this thing this whole city is highly debated. Coming to the United Nations efforts in 1947. So we already know that 1920s and 1940s are the era where Jews were Holocaust all over the Europe, and we can see that there were so many efforts taken by the United Nations at that time. And there was when Holocaust was going on at that time, the Palestinian land was in the possession of the British land, and United Nations had made an effort that there should be a solution for all these problems. So in 1947 it came up with the two-nation theory, that land will be divided into two parts. One is the Palestinian majority and the second is the Israel majority, and there should be the universal administration, which is the Jerusalem. But this thing was not accepted by the Palestinians, and they said that we will not accept this plan. So after this, major protest erupted there, and the British had also withdrawn from that territory. And after the withdrawal from the British, the Israelis had declared itself that they are independent state, and they had recognized themselves that they are independent nation of this whole world. And in 1948 there was a formation of Israel. And since next day, all the Arab countries attacked on the Israel, that how you can say that you are an independent country, and how you can claim our land and our right and our ethnicity. So because of all these things, almost Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, all these countries came together and they had attacked the Israel. And response to that, Israel had also attacked, and it had acquired almost 80% of the Palestinian territories. So this was the response of all those attacks, and it had forced to evacuate and migrate 7.5 lakhs Palestinians from their land. So this was the bloodiest result of all those attacks. And after that, what happened, that there was no definite solution have been found out. And because both countries want that there should be right to self-determination, it means that they wanted to have their own political power, their own sovereignty. But this could not be possible at the Jerusalem, because Jerusalem is contested over the three communities. So this is the brief background we had discussed. Moving to the next slide. Next slide is about normalization efforts. So few countries had taken normalization effort. So this normalization effort is known as Camp David Accords. So it had been signed between Egypt and Israel in presence of US at White House. But this effort went in futile, and Egypt was out from the Arab League, and it was heavily criticized because Arabs were not able to accept this normalization effort. Coming to the second thing is that Arab Spring 2010. So what happened, that so many Middle East countries and North African countries had protested in their territory, that because there was a rule over long-standing rulers, and they don't want that, the old people should rule their country. So they wanted a new outlook, new rulers for their country, and they were also fatigued for this Israel-Palestinian issue. So they wanted a new outlook. Because of that, this thing had happened, that Arab Spring 2010. Coming to the rise of MBS, who is a prince of Saudi Arabia. So why this rise of MBS is important? Because he is the person who wanted to remove that traditional space which are present in the Saudi Arabia, and he wanted to liberate especially women. And because of that thing, US is also backing thing. And in alliance with the US, they are supporting the Israel. So because of this thing, there is a normalization effort done by the Saudi Arabia and Israel. Coming to the Abrahamic Accord. So this is also highly contested, and Abrahamic Accord related to the UAE. And under this accord, UAE had become the third country after this Egypt and Jordan to normalize situation with the Israel. So this is highly criticized by the Arabian countries. Coming to the Iran factor. So the UAE prince thought that Iran expansionism policy is very threat to the UAE and its allies, and because of that they are ignoring Iran into this matter. Coming to the emergence of China. So China is emerging a lot in the Middle East countries and so many Arabian countries, and because of that thing, the US influence is diminishing there. So this is also one of the crucial factor in normalization efforts. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is about that where does the Palestinian issue figure in all of this, because we are talking here about Israel-Palestinian issue, and earlier it was a Palestinian land, but Israelis also claim that before Palestinian land it was also an Israeli land, because there was a fact and there was a proof that the place belonged to the Judaism, because they had their religious place there. But we have to look for that what Palestinians thought about this problem, because many times we can see that there are normalization efforts by various countries, but it's between the big leaders. There was no response from the people to people side, and what normal people are thinking about this problem, their responses, their narratives are not recorded, and they are not a part of mainstream media. So in order to normalizing efforts between Israel and Arab countries, there should be also response by the Palestinians, the local Palestinians, the normal people, that what they wanted into these kind of the things and what is their response. So whatever is happening in Palestine and Israel, the local people's mandate is very important, which is highly ignored onto all these normalization efforts. So this thing is very important. When there is a peace talks, it should not be between the two prime ministers or two important leaders. It should be between people to people, and their cultural ethos, their religious sentiments, their ethnicity should be preserved. So these kind of things should be taken care of. Coming to the practice question for prelims. So prelims is currently Golan Heights is under possession of, and your options are Israel, Syria, Egypt, Saudi Arabia. Coming to the mains question, which is, despite the goodwill that exists between India and Israel, consider the significant contribution that India made to the cause of Palestine. Elucidate. So here the question demands the both kind of matter. One is that India's relation with Israel, and the second with Palestine. So first they are talking about the Israel. So first you have to throw light on the Israel-India relationship, and now they are talking about the Palestine thing. So in next part you have to throw light on the India-Palestine issue. So you have to work here on various factors, that what are the economic relation they have, diplomatic relation have, defense relationship they have, and because of all this Israel-Palestinian issue, what is the stand of India now? You can also quote the Prime Minister tweet, and what is the response and action taken by the India, and how India had contributed in both countries. Israel is becoming the third largest country who imports so many things to the India, and what is the economic ties between India and Palestine. So you have to throw light on all these things, how people to people are connected here. There is a religious symbolism between India and Palestine, because India is a land where so many Shiite Muslims are here. Similarly in Palestine also so many Muslim populations are there. So because of all these things, we also share cultural relationship with each other. And India is also a land where so many Jews are also there, so many followers of Judaism are also there. So how we are connected to with the Israel and Palestinian. So in this way, how India is following the middle path, and it is not ignoring the Israeli issue, and it is also not ignoring the Palestinian issue. And you have to also quote that in 1988, India was the first country who had recognized Palestine as a country, and how India is contributing to Palestine in their development. They are investing in education, infrastructure. India is making library in Palestine. So these kind of efforts you have to highlight in this answer, and in the conclusion you have to show that peace talks is the only solution, and UN had to become strict in this order. So this will be your conclusion. I hope you like this lecture. If you have any queries related to this lecture, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you.